Is rising. Only 2 cars left in the pit lane before we have a full grid. Take a look up to the lights, then we'll see the countdown coming on. It's going to count down. 5 seconds. Season 3, race 1 is under starters orders. Lights down. EERC is go, go, go. It's a good start from Richard. Look at the trying to keep the inside line down towards Bell. Look at Mike Bell. Trying to go right round the outside. In towards Cox corner. A spectacular move. Oh, big rest. And that's really Horsley. Into the bollard then. But Hamilton swings it round the
Hello and welcome to Rockingham for event 2, round 2 of the fourth season of EERC British Touring Car Championship action. My name is Edward Hunter. Alongside me is broadcast director Pascal Eggert. Qualifying has just begun here at this circuit in the it's near Castle, isn't it, in the sort of northeast of England, Rockingham. But of course, championship currently led by, I believe, it's Hartley, of course, followed closely by Mike Bell and Loic Moynier from Smart Power and KV86 Powerhouse. But there is Louis Hartley, just putting the car through its paces, of course. The Ford Focus, and you definitely want to keep an eye on the tyre allocation here. Sorry if I sound a bit distracted. I was just getting the track map up so I could remember what all the corner names are for Rockingham. And of course, historic venue for British touring cars, no longer in service, of course, sadly. But it's a very, very long first corner, you see, as Moynier is being drafted by one of the Hunter Birch simulation Ford Focuses. I believe that's, just barging on, that's Luca Gray then. Just eager to start his lap and follow his teammates. So the three KV86 Powerhouses all in a row now. And Luca Gray in number 56 taking part for the first time this season. Oh, and then drifting into, I believe that was turn 4. He just drifted through then. Which is, of course, Chapman Curve. Into Steel Straight and Gracelands we go. And Gray, of course, has got purple face sector on the timing screen, but it's actually Noah Tuomela here who's going fastest at the moment. There is plenty of space on this track for all 22 cars. Remember, Matthew Williams for Hunter Birch Simulation number 21. He has got a penalty, a group penalty to serve as Tuomela comes to a stop. Magnus Ockenhaug from Optiminal, he's been banned from qualifying after the events of race 3 in the cancelled race 3 in Imola. And also we have Novak from XRL Esports. Let me see if I can find him anywhere. Will Novak has got a 5-place group penalty to serve. So Louis Hartley, unsurprisingly, him and Mike Bell setting the pace. 1:21.6 for Louis Hartley. And purple in the last 2 sectors. And 1:22.0 for Mike Bell. Still other people yet to set particularly quick times, of course, with 11 minutes left to go. I think Dale Hughes for DPH had just joined the server. He's, of course, independent driver, I believe. Here's Patrick Magnussen, of course, who had a penalty in the middle of race 1 and absolutely drifting it through turn 5 there onto Steel Straight. Here's Gracelands. And then he's got to prepare himself for the Tarzan hairpin, that right-hander, but it's Moynier now. Just like we saw in Imola, lighting up the timing screens, looking to get himself onto the front row then as he crosses the line. And that's provisional pole position then, nearly 2.5 tenths faster than Louis Hartley, as Alexander Serema for Crown Dental Group goes third. Is immediately displaced by Noah Tuomela, who sets a great lap on 21.7. Just 18 thousandths of a second quicker as Magnussen starts another lap. Chris English for Smart Power. I believe he's filling in for Bradley Sellers, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's gone second fastest now. 121.546. So that puts him about a tenth and a half off of Loic Mounier. Still just under 10 minutes left to go. And still a couple of people running a bit late and trying to join the server in time. I believe we are expecting, as we see one of the Hunter Birches, that's the 78. That must be Thomas Raschke, just hanging around the apex, just outside turn 5 there. So he's clearly dropped it on the run out of Chapman Curve. Magnussen, though, looking to get into the top 5, top 6 or so. Around about where Serema and Dan Wright are. There we go, through the brook. Out of the school straight and onto Brook, which is that sort of tricky left-right, left chicane, just before we get back onto the banking. Now the run to the line, and Magnussen sets personal best, and it's second fastest. Oh, brilliant final sector there. Purple, it's 18.548. Mounier is still going quicker, 121.3. Oh, big drift for Magnussen into turn 1 there. This is Mike Bell, of course, reigning champion. And Mike Bell, of course, looking to impress after a couple of podiums in the 2 points paying races at Imola. But yet to get on the winner's circle, of course, as there's Luca Gray also looking to, as he's held up a little bit by one of the Crown Dental cars. And that is one of the issues of group qualifying. Everyone's got to sort of find... in fact, that may have been Marcin Morel that he's just lapped there, as one of the Optiminal cars gets well out the way. It's Zielski, I believe. We do also see for Hunter Birch Goldtacular the return of Stan Gjorvad in the third car, the number 42. Which is, of course, great to see. Gjorvad, of course, who had to miss quite a lot of the last couple of seasons due to military service, I believe, but has been let off on holiday for this one round. We see Tuomela, purple first sector. Can he do better than fifth? It's pole position for Noah Tuomela. Oh, another impressive lap, continuing his good form from Imola. Argitai's got on the server, so we've got 23 cars. And a gap in the fight for pole position, just 0.056 of a second between Tuomela and Mounier. KV86 Powerhouse 1-2-3 here, so clearly Christian Vazda's team from Croatia have got a very, very good setup here. As downright drifts the Crown Dental Group car into Brook. Oh no, into Tarzan, sorry, I should say. This is Brook. There we go, left over the curb, right. Just got to manage the momentum and change of direction well as we set ourselves up for the straight here. Just looking a little bit tentative from down right as Mike Bell has gone slightly faster, 121.9. Andy Horton, oh, as Chris English does some wheel lifting in the Hyundai. It's just Andy Horton is running, I believe, on the medium tyre. Is interesting for Celtic Racing. Chris English, of course, purple in the first sector. Louis Hartley goes purple in the middle sector. This is looking good for the championship leader. What can Season 2 champion do here? Power Source line, just 6 minutes left to go. And Louis Hartley, there we go, 121.2. So he takes pole by a tenth of a second there in that middle sector, really doing the damage, making the difference then. What a fantastic circuit Rockingham is. Will provide some great racing come the first encounter as Patrick Magnussen snatches pole back again from Louis Hartley. 121.144, so 68 thousandths of a second. As the two Crown Dental cars cross over one another, down right on a personal best lap here. Where's this going to put him? It gains him one place ahead of his teammate Serema into the top 6. Joe Mella sets a purple first sector as we ride just inside the windshield here. No sign of rain so far. Yeah, looks like Tom Valadou and Oliver Hargitay both leaving it late in the Goldtaculars to set lap times. Joe Mella, though, another very, very good sector here. It looks neat and tidy through the Brook chicane. Onto the start-finish line we go. Number 70, is it going to be pole position for Noah Tuomela? Provisionally, it is, despite that final sector being slightly slower. But he's 2/10 up on Patrick O'Magnuson. So the first man in the 120s, 120.9. That's going to be quite the lap to beat then. There's Marcin Morel for the Speed Eagles. Very similar livery to the Optiminal, and that's Thomas Rasch just ahead of him. Thomas Rasch trying to break into the top 15 on the grid here. Luckily not quite as big a grid as Imola from our point of view of Thunderbird simulation, but here we go. Rasch goes up to 13th then. Morel up to 9th though. Luca Gray gets himself up into the top 5, which is very, very good news. And there's Morel and the 78 phasing into one another. So 3 minutes left to go. Tuomela still in the pits as Bajal has a little off track there in his independent entry. 3 minutes to go. It is Tuomela on pole from 2/10 over Patrick O'Magnuson. Louis Hartley first, 12 thousandths of a second down. Then it's Loic Moynier, Luca Gray, Chris English, Darren Wright, Alexander Sorema, Marcin Morel, and Mike Bell rounding out the top 10. So, yeah, Bell has sort of struggled. Chris English has shown better pace here in the sister rookie monsters. If you look at Magnuson drifting it through Steel Straight and into Gracelands. Now into Tarzan he comes. Some of the driver, yeah. So Tom Baldu says it's a little late for me. I'm gonna finish my lap and eat. Matthew Williams says the car around here is awful. There's no big change there. Looks like Magnuson doesn't go any quicker. So that might be the fastest lap times of the day done then. Although Van Leeuwen does go 7th fastest. Matt Williams does not like the focus around here. It definitely seems like the Toyota, the KV86 car, is handling that a little bit better. If you look at Dale Hughes, down in 16th. Does the best in the first sector, but not looking too good in the middle. Dale Hughes gains 2 positions, goes 14th fastest, just in front of Thomas Raschke. Just over 60 seconds left on the clock then. As Tuomela sets a purple first sector, so he's going even faster than Dan Wright, stays 8th. And Van Leeuwen goes 4th fastest for Finn Von Green, just behind his teammate Louis Hartley by 2/10 then. A good lap for Fies Van Leeuwen. Tuomela gets good view of the air balloon in the background there as he goes through Tarzan. What's the Sector 2 time going to be? Loic Moynier set a purple Sector 2, 29.8 as well. Oh, slightly slower, but not by much for Tuomela, so just needs to hook up Brook onto the final corner then. And can Loic Moynier then go that bit quicker than his teammate, who you can see in the background? Loic Moynier does get up to second ahead of Patrick O'Magnuson. Tuomela, no, it's 21.2, so he's a little bit slower than that pole time that he's got at the moment. 20 seconds left on the clock, so anyone in the pit lane now is not going to be going any quicker. Oh, Raschke gets very close to cutting the grass there. In fact, I believe he did cut a little bit. Let's hope he gets to keep this lap then as he powers towards the line. It's going to be A 122.1, 13th fastest. Checkered flag is now out, so everyone on a lap has got to complete it. Anybody going any quicker? Chris English has gone back to the pit lane. I believe Louis Hartley might be out on a lap at the moment. Schoenman going a bit quicker in the first sector. Mike Bell goes 8th fastest. There is Louis Hartley. Patrick Magnussen's its personal best in the middle sector. Moynier goes purple in the middle sector. And Tuamela still going fairly quickly as well. Moynier, oh, I think there was a little bit of grass cutting there. That's going to slow him down slightly. So I think we're going to see KV86 Powerhouse 1-2-3. Magnussen snatches it from Tuamela by 1/1000th of a second with a brilliant final sector. 18.248 there. Oh, and Tuamela immediately takes it back then. 1:20.872 by 59 thousandths. So very, very close qualifying between the top two. But KV86 Powerhouse have had Rockingham all to themselves up front. All three cars rounding out the top three. Luca Gray crosses the line now. Is he going to go better than 6th? Yes, he retakes 5th from Van Leeuwen. So great effort from Luca Gray. Thomas Rasch is crossing the line again, but the checkered flag is already out, so I'm not sure this lap's going to count then. But that's your grid set then. Let's go over it. Noah Tuamela on pole position by less, just off a 10th from Patrick Magnussen. And it is Louis Hartley in 3rd, 2 tenths down on pole for Finovond Motorsport. Moynier is 4th, so it looks like Louis Hartley did just jump Moynier right at the end there with a very, very good late effort. Luca Gray lines up 5th for Hunterbert Simulation, their best qualifying of the season so far. Thijs Van Leeuwen will line up 7th ahead of Chris English and Mike Bell for Smile Power. Then it's the 2 Crown Dental Group cars of Dan Wright and Alexander Serema who round out the top 10. 11th will be Marcin Morel. 12th, Joseph Frederick Suto in another of the Finovond, this time for the white team. Thomas Vaschk will line up 13th on the grid, ahead of Krzysztof Szylski. Dale Hughes for DPH will line up 15th, and that's currently the final points paying position. Peter Schoenemann is 16th for Finovond white. Matthew Williams, 17th for Hunterbert Simulation. But he, of course, has got a 10-place grid penalty, so he will start 25th and last on the grid. Joop Blahoven will line up 18th ahead of Stan Gjorvad. Senazas Bajald will be 20th. And just behind them, it's Andy Horton 21st. Oliver Hargitay sets 1 lap right at the end to go 22nd. And then Magnus Ockenhaug, who's banned from qualifying. Tom Valadou, who arrived a little bit too late to set a lap. And Jeffrey Ellis from Smile Power Racing. So an interesting grid. A couple of people at the back that have got to be sorted out then. So it sounds like both drivers from both my teams complaining about the car. The only one who seemed to be able to get a particularly good lap time out of it was, of course, Luca Gray. But perhaps maybe on the soft tyre, some of the drivers will fare a bit better. Actually, Thomas Rasch is saying it feels good to me. Could have gone top 10 if I got the lap together, says Thomas Raschke. So fair enough. I apologise for reading out the well, it's not private team chat, I guess, but reading out the team chat on stream. But when I haven't got a co-commentator, and with all due respect to Pascal, he's probably better off focusing on doing the cameras than talking to me. Then I've got to improvise, I guess. Although I have got the YouTube chat I can also fall back on if need be. Let's get that up while we wait for warm-up to finish. But this is a good opportunity for KV86 Powerhouse. Tuamela and Magnussen need to make sure they capitalise. Because remember, Noah Tuamela got into the lead early on in Imola as well. What's going on there? And then it all went horribly wrong. For Tuamela with that penalty, which handed Louis Hartley the win in the first race of the season. Chris Tompkins says, I presume at some point there's going to be a simply hideous accident. Thank you as always, Ed. Nick Homewood says, racing a clock. So I assume that means we're ready to get going. A reminder of who has the soft tyres then. If I'd forgotten that earlier. But of course, it's Alexander Serema, Andy Horton, Billy Novak, who's of course got that penalty going into this race. Darren Wright, Joop Blahoven, Loic Moynier, interestingly, who's got 66 kilograms of ballast. Nathan Howard, Noah Tuomela, who's got 9 kilograms of ballast. Thijs van Leeuwen, and Thomas Raschke, of course. So particularly Van Leeuwen and Moynier on the soft are going to be quite quick here. But that row there. Rockingham start, 4 cars wide almost. And away we go. So good start from Tuomela and Magnussen to hold on to the front row. Louis Hartley trying to hold off Moynier. Remember, Loic Moynier is on those softer tyres. As Luca Gray holds on to 5th in the background as there's a little bit of grass cutting, but everyone seems to have gotten through okay. Hartley trying to go in between the 2 KV86 powerhouses. Now Luca Gray gets involved. Oh, good stuff from Luca Gray to go up to 4 positions, so not an ideal start for Loic Moynier then. Tuomela, Magnussen hold on to the top 2 positions again. Hartley now under attack from Luca Gray, who has to let Loic Moynier through there and is now defending from Wright and Bell. So Mike Bell has made a decent start here past his teammate Chris English. We see another yellow in the first sector. Looks like Stan Gjorvad and Tom Valadou have not started the race particularly at all. Thunderbird assuming that Gjorvad is out and Valadou is still in the pit lane. So I assume Tom has still gone off to eat and not come back in time for the race. So not impressed by Frenchman particularly. Oh, and look at this. Mike Bell diving up the inside at Tarzan on Luca Gray as a little bit of grass cutting from Louis Hartley up ahead though. And that means Mike Bell has been able to get ahead of Luca Gray, who I'm sure is not going to be too impressed with the reigning champion there. Not least because, of course, he's filling in for Mike Bell spins Luca Gray around at Brook. And that was a bit clumsy from Mike. Should have given Luca Gray a little bit more space, in my opinion, as biased as I am. And I will admit that, being the Thunderbird Simulation team owner and manager. But where does Luca Gray fall to? He's out of the race, so not the way Luca would have wanted to start. And I imagine he'll be absolutely livid with Mike Bell after that one. Let's hope there's a penalty incoming. But anyway, Noah Tuomela sets fast lap race, pulls the gap to Patrick Magnussen to 1.1 seconds. Louis Hartley holding on to 3rd from the soft tyre short Loic Moynier. And Van Leeuwen is also on softs for this first race, I believe. I think Tuomela, Moynier, Wright, Serema, Raschke, Blahoven and Horton all on the softs in this race. Everyone else on the mediums. Which is interesting. I must have misread the sheet at the beginning. Look at Moynier going now tight to the back of Louis Hartley. Bring it as close as he can to take advantage of any mistakes. So these two resuming their battles from Imola. Mike Bell not far behind, but this time KV86 Powerhouse controlling the front 2, looking to make it a 1-2-3, a little bit wide from Louis Hartley. He's just trying to get the best exit down the straight as another fast lap race for Tuomela. 10th quicker than Magnussen. Magnussen very, very good in that final sector as they go almost grass cutting into turn 1 there. Now into Dean. Turn 2. Moynier, this is a good overtaking spot as well if you can set up the move here. But Moynier, it will be interesting to see how hard he battles his teammates if he can get through on Hartley here. Because he has potentially got a faster car. Hargitay making good ground here. Hunter Birch Gold. Tacular going wide though at Chapman Corner. And that means he loses a place actually. As here we go, Moynier's got through on Louis Hartley into turn 5 then. That was Hargitay fighting Szylski and Suto and losing out there. And now into the clutches of Raschke on the soft tyres in the sister Hunter Birch Ford Focus. Matt Williams, meanwhile, fighting Blahoven and losing out down to 21st. But look at this. Moynier has still got to pull a bit of a gap to Hartley because Hartley's still a threat on the mediums. But now you've got to assume Tuomela on the softs will make hay. And Magnussen might have to, if Loic Moynier can catch him, might have to just move aside. As we see Darren Wright passing Chris English for 6th place. Darren Wright, another of those to start on the soft tyre in race 1. Remember, 2 more races after this. Fingers crossed. Hargitai's passed Ockenhaug for 14th now. And is now closing on Zielski once more. But Moynier seems to have got the measure of Louis Hartley at the moment. So Hartley on the harder medium tyres. Not a whole lot he can do. He might have to worry about Mike Bell before too long. But Mike himself has got to worry about Darren Wright then. Oh! Let's look at this. Hargitai up the inside of Krzysztof Zielski into turn 1. That'll put him on the outside for Chapman Corner. Hargitai, oh, is he going to back out this time? No, once again, he almost gets pushed wide. But this time at least stays on the curb there. You see Rashke in a battle with Ockenhaug just behind. And Pajoud closing as well. But Pajoud makes a mistake. And Jeffrey Ellis, who missed qualifying, is now all over him. They go onto the steel straight and then into Graceland. As behind, there's an Optiminal going off there. That must be Ockenhaug. Or is it Jeffrey Ellis, actually? Here we go. Hargitai again looks at the inside of Zielski at Tarzan. This is the battle for 13th. As wide goes Rashke in the background, so Ockenhaug gets back through into 15th position. These are the lower points, remember. Hunter Birch, especially with Luca Gray now out the running, desperately need these points. Like Monnier sets a purple. Middle sector is off track. Goes to Zielski and now Pajoud under attack from Jeffrey Ellis, who cuts the Brook chicane there. Like Monnier sets the fastest lap of the race. Hargitai now attacking Zielski once more as they come into turn 1. Going to get the inside. This will set him up well. Oh, hitting the grass. Don't spin out, Oliver. Here we go into turn 1. Can Zielski do anything? He's going to try and switch back from the outside. Hargitai gets on the brakes, and the Hyundai handling well then as he moves up to 13th position then. Gets another couple of points for Goldtacular team. Hunter Birch Simulation, only 1 point to their name so far this season. Desperately need a few more as here we go. Lot of money's caught up to Patrick O'Magnuson. Now what's going to happen here? Will Magnuson let him through, or will he fight as Moynier goes off track a little bit there on the exit of a turn? That must be Gracelands, of course. With Tarzan they go. You've got to think if there's going to be a switch here for position, it's going to happen down the main straight. Matthew Williams, unfortunately, looks like he's retired. So 4 retirements so far, all of them Hunter Birch cars. So we see Rashke again squabbling with Ockenhaug and losing that 15th position. Ockenhaug has got the inside for Brook. Rashke on the softs will have to back out once more and set himself up here. But the softs are keeping him in play, luckily, as he bumps the back of Ockenhaug. Unfortunately, for Oliver Hargitai, 3.6 second gap to Peter Schooneman and Suto, who are fighting over 11th in front of them. And Rashke to the outside here, but Ockenhaug's got the inside. Jeffrey Ellis looks to get underneath him as well. So Thomas Rashke being ganged up on here on lap 6. Rashke will have to take the outside. Ellis threw up the inside into 16th position for Smile Power. And Stanislas Pajoud, who did fill in for Hunter Birch last time, now right on the back of Thomas Rashke. So the thing that might have happened here is, as Thomas Rashke goes right into the back of Jeffrey Ellis. Through Chapman Corner, which lets Pajoud through. Oh, and Ockenhaug goes wide. Through goes Jeffrey Ellis then. So great driving from British driver. Then Jeffrey up to 15th in the final points-paying position. Moynier still stuck behind Patrick Magnuson, who's fighting him tooth and nail, which allows Tuomela to escape 2.3 seconds up the road. We're nearly halfway through this race, remember. Matthew Williams, I think, is still in. He just went into the pits then. He's put on another set of the mediums. Let's look at this. Moynier starting to set up his teammate here. Van Leeuwen and Morel set personal best laps of the race, as does Jeffrey Ellis and Thomas Rashke. Mike Bell holding on to 5th from Darren Wright, who continues to attack him in the Crown Dental Group car. 4 tenths behind, of course. This battle and the Bell-Wright battle are probably the 2 closest on track at the moment. Looks like Larhoven has hit trouble in this race, down in 20th. Half a second behind Dale Hughes on the soft tyre. Having the soft tyre doesn't guarantee that you can make up the ground in the field. You've got to use it effectively. Or Thomas Rashke has found himself shuffled out in this race despite making a decent start. Look at this, Moynier closer than he's been before as they approach into Tarzan. Here we go. He's got the inside. Will Patrick O'Magnuson fight this? No, he will not. In fact, he will dive underneath to try and get the line, but he's going to be on the outside for Brooke. So that is Luke Moynier up to second position then. Now 2.2 seconds behind Noah Tuomela. So there could be a fight for the lead here. Luke Moynier, previous winner on his last visit with EERC British Touring Cars to Rockingham. Won, I believe, race through, or at least finished on the podium in the top two. As here we go, Jeffrey Ellis now starts to attack for 14th place with Optiminal. That's the Speedy. Oh no, it's the that's Zielski ahead of him and Ockenhag behind him. Oh, as look up ahead, it's that Hargitay catching Chris English, I think. As here we go, Jeffrey Ellis has got the inside then into that long banked turn one. And that's both Optiminal cars in the rear view mirror then for the Smart Power cars. So Jeffrey Ellis has just got to seal the move into turn one. As you see, Rashke has got back ahead of Bajoud. And there we go, well executed by Jeffrey Ellis from the back of the grid then. As Hargitay to the outside of Chris English has been dropping back in this race. But Hargitay doing pretty well on those medium tyres to run well on the points here. Highest of the Hunter Birch simulation cars. Only two left on the lead lap, I believe, with Matthew Williams a lap down. The other three out of the running. Is Sarema trying to turn in from the outside on Van Leeuwen. Sarema, another of the soft tyre runners, remember, so Darren Wright all still over the back of Mike Bell. You can see that battle happening just in front of you. Of them, sorry. Oh, wheels lifting through the chicane of Van Leeuwen. That's the problem with those curb. It tends to... the first curb at Brook tends to launch you if you carry enough speed at the wrong angle. There's a yellow in sector 2 and Horton in trouble. Rash has dropped to 21st position then, so that's not good news. More horrible luck for Hunter Simulation with two of their cars right at the back. Only really Hargitay has had a decent race here in 13th, the way things have played out. As we see Zielski and Ockenhaug under attack from Bajoud then. Stanislas get up to 16th position. Ockenhag has cleared Zielski here. Jab dives to the inside, and is he going to try and do a double move here? Wow, he is. Fantastic from the independent driver there. I wish I kept him in the under Birch now after that, but Pajad goes into the final points paying position as Zielski now holding off Dale Hughes. Hughes goes off track, and this allows Larhoven up the inside of him then. Through Chapman curve then. So the gap up front with 5 laps to go. 2.6 seconds. Here's down right then up the... Oh, somebody's spinning in the background. I think that may have been Morel in trouble, or Van Leeuwen actually. Losing a place as well. But that's down right then up to 5th ahead of Mike Bell on those soft tyres. So Mike Bell finally having to give way. 5 laps to go. Mike Bell, he won't give up without a fight, that's for sure. He will tuck into the slipstream. But is there enough grunt in those mediums to really... not enough grip, more importantly, to retake that 5th position? I don't think there is. Hiroshima, meanwhile, under attack from Chris English. Oliver Hargitay 1.6 seconds behind. Hargitay and English starting from near the very back of the field as well. They've recovered well here. And Schoenemann, we've seen how good a defensive driver he is as he goes a little bit offline through Yentwood. And into Chapman Curve they go. Fireware here is extremely high, as Nick Homewood, so the softs will suffer badly as the race goes on. That's definitely the way it seems to be going. Larhoven, Horton, Rashgate, all struggling on the soft. And look at this, up the inside goes, of Hughes goes Horton. So Andy Horton not trying to get a little bit of life back into these softs then. As up ahead, Pajoud still fighting with the 2 Optiminals. This is a fabulous fight. And up the inside goes Ockenhaug. Pajoud, though, sets himself up well to try and get a move on the straight. Makes a little bit of contact with Hockenhaug. Zielski is trailing in the rear. Missed the battle. Or that final points paying position in 15th. And Pajoud snatch it away from Magnus Hockenhaug, who's, for Hockenhaug's sake, got that penalty out of the way, at least a little bit deep from Pajoud, and this allows Zielski to get involved as well. Front, Moynier and Tuomela 1.3 seconds apart, so Moynier's been closing. The experience coming to the fore. Pajoud gets a good run. As look at this, Chris English is now still struggling to get past Peter Schumann, and this allowed Oliver Hargitay to join the battle. Jeffrey Ellis not too far behind his teammate either. Ellis, of course, another who's battled through. This is going to be an interesting situation. Hargitay especially, as we see Pajoud in, I think, more issues. No, he's gotten past Hockenhaug, sorry. So, good move there. It looks like Alexander Serema is all over the back of Mike Bell in the battle for 6th now. As look at this good run from Chris English on the back of the Finavond of Peter Schumann. Schumann defends into turn 1. Could leave himself a little bit vulnerable for turn 2. The Dean corner. Schumann defends the inside. Look at this. Hargitay dives up the inside of Chris English. And there's a Ford Focus. Hunter Birch spun in the background. That must be Matthew Williams trying to get out of the way. It's clean around the outside. Goes Oliver Hargitay of Chris English then. That was really opportunistic. And he's just about cleared him there. So good driving from Hargitay to get up into 12th position. Now he's got to hold off the two small powers here. Look like the mediums up front quite holding on to the soft tire runners to make a big enough difference here. Mike Bell's best hope is that Serema and Wright run out of tires here. He's kept Wright pretty honest despite being attacked from his teammate Serema. That's Louis Hartley fighting Magnussen now. It's both on the mediums. Hargitay is going to try and do a kamikaze dive into the Brook corner. Oh, off track. That's going to compromise Peter Schumann's exit here. So Hargitay's got an opportunity here. Needs to position his car well, not to lose position to English. There we go. He covers him off on the exit there. Hargitay starting to dive out as we see one of the gold taculars. That's Valadou coming out of the pits despite being 12 laps down. It must have been a long dinner for Tom, as it looks like it started raining, actually. Yeah, that's interesting. With only 2 laps to go, though, so I don't imagine anyone will pit. I'd completely missed that it started raining, I think, the end of the previous lap then. But there we go. Oh, around the outside of Magnussen goes Hartley, but Hartley going too wide at Tarzan. That's going to destroy any chance he would have had of getting through, but luckily not losing too much time there, but an opportunistic dive to the outside for Louis Hartley as we see yellow in the first sector. There's rain here, and if it's heavy rain, it could get quite chaotic here. Look, Monia, only 1.1 seconds now. 7/10 actually behind Tuomela. So we are seeing a battle for the lead. Tuomela, who's done so well to hold on to it. Could he find himself in trouble as Hartley starting to flash his lights at Patrick Magnussen? Is Chris English. Of course, Hartley, now having gotten past Schumann, has now turned his attention to Suto and trying to get into the top 10 here. Matt Williams looks like he's gone on the purple tire, which I believe is the wets, interestingly. So Raymond out, still all over the back of Mike Bell. So important for Mike Bell to hold on here on this final lap of the race. Fortunately for Matthew Williams, he's 3 laps down, so the wets aren't going to do too good here. In terms of he might catch up to Lahoven, who's also gone into the pits, but look at this. Suto now completely vulnerable to the Hyundai of Oliver Hargitay, who just squeezes around and gets pushed off track there at Yentwood. And this allows both of the Finavons to run side by side and build a wall. And now Chris English goes through around the outside. Oh, this is very, very tight here in this battle for 10th there. But Hargitay got bullied out of the way, not for the first time in this race. All these drivers will score points, but I think that's not the way Hargitay would have wanted this battle to end. And there we go, the two final ones cross the line. Tuo Miller wins his first win of the season ahead of Loic Moynier and Cam Patrick Magnussen. Hold on from Louis Hartley to make it a KV86 powerhouse. 1-2-3. Yes, he can. So it's the first 1-2-3 since gravel trap racing here at this venue a few years ago. And Suter, defends up the inside from Chris English, but English just dives around the outside of him. The two tangle, and it's have to be so careful not to spin each other. Wide they go, and look at this. Hargitay is going to try and go up the inside of Schoenemann here. Suto, sorry, not Schoenemann. Schoenemann 10th, English 11th, Hargitay 12th, Suto 13th, and Ellis 14th then. So fantastic battle there. And Hargitay recovering back up to 12th then, as there's the Optiminals. They will both finish just outside the points then, annoyingly, for Zazilski and Ockenhag, with Stanislas Bajau taking the final points playing position. There's Rashk. That's not the way he would have wanted things to end. And pretty much everyone across the line then. So, confirmation of final results. It's not actually Imola, so somebody forgot to update it to round 2 Rockingham in the top right corner here. It is Noah Tuo Miller, who takes leads a 1-2-3 for KV86 Powerhouse from Loic Moynier and Patrick Magnussen. Louis Hartley is 4th, ahead of Darren Wright. And it is Mike Bell 6th, Alexander Sorema 7th, Marcin Morel 8th, Thijs van Leeuwen 9th, and Peter Schumann rounding out the top 10 in that fantastic battle at the end there. Chris English is 11th, Oliver Hargitay is 12th, Joseph Frederick Suto 13th, Jeff Rell is 14th. The points rounded out by Stanislas Bajau, then is Krzysztof Zazilski 16th, Magnus Ockenhag 17th, Andy Horton 18th, Dale Hughes 19th, and Thomas Raschke a disappointed 20th. Joop Laarhoven fails to finish, but still classified ahead of Matthew Williams, who had a lot of issues in this race. Luca Gray is 23rd. Tom Vallady came out for a few laps, but I'm not quite sure why. And then Stan Jorvad also rounds out our non-finishers. So it looks like we just got booted out to the R Factor 2 menu and out of the server. So we're going to go on a short break then while Pascal sorts that out. Hello and welcome back to EERC British Touring Cars from Rockingham Motor Speedway. We're a few minutes away from the beginning of race 2. Of course, was a 1-2-3 for KV86 Powerhouse. So the grid will be the same, but the tyre allocations will be a little bit different. So with a little bit of ballast coming into play, of course, who has got the soft tyres for race 2? It is Adam Coates, Joseph Frederick Souto for Finavond, Luca Gray for Underbird Simulation, who qualified in the top 5 and then was spun out by Mike Bell. Oliver Hargitay has also got the soft tyres for race 2. Patrick Magnussen, who of course was third, going to start from third as well, but with a bit more ballast. He's got the softs for race 2. Peter Schumann's got the softs for race 2. Stan Gjorvad van der Birch has got the softs for race 2. And finally, Chris English from Smart Power has also got the softs. Alright, so there we go. It's 10 minutes past 8, so that is the time for the grid about to form up then, and it is going to be Noah Toemela, of course, ahead of it from Loic Moynier, Patrick Magnussen, Louis Hartley, Darren Wright, Mike Bell, Marcin Morel for Speed Eagles, interestingly showing a 7th. I must have missed something there. Van Leeuwen is 8th ahead of Peter Schumann. Then is Chris English round at the top 10 with Oliver Hargitay 11th, Jeffrey Ellis 12th, Pajal 13th, Zielski 14th, Ockenhaug 15th, Andy Horton 16th, Rashke 17th, Williams 18th. Matt Williams, despite asking to quit, is going to do this race too as well. Tom Valadou 19th and Stan Gjorvad 20th. So lots of Hunter Birches right at the back then. So everyone on the grid, we just wait for the lights to go out then. You can just see him in the foreground, the flagman about to drop the flag, and we are go for race 2 at Rockingham. The rain has gone away, and it is free. KV86 Powerhouses on the run into turn 1, but around the outside comes Louis Hartley, who tangles. Oh dear, he's tangled with Noah Toemela there. Oh, and it's mayhem in the middle as Hartley tries to rejoin, and everyone tries to swerve to avoid. One of the Hunter Birch Gold Tankulars got caught up in that one. It was Oliver Hargitay, sadly. Hargitay finds himself facing the wrong way. Mike Bell has taken advantage of chaos to get up to second, and he's dragged Chris English with him past Patrick Magnussen and Chris English and Magnussen, both on the soft tyre, remember. So will there be a bit of team play here from Smart Power to get Chris English ahead of Mike Bell, or will Mike Bell just worry about Loic Moynier ahead? As round the outside of Van Leeuwen goes Magnus Ockenhaug, who's made a very good start here. And this allows Van Leeuwen to be attacked by Noah Toemela, who's recovering from being attacked by Louis Hartley on that opening first corner there. After a high-speed spin, as we see, is that a red flag being called? Because there's 2 cars in the gravel there. The red flag has been called, which is a great news for Hargitay and Hartley, of course. Let's hope this isn't a repeat of Imola. We didn't get to do race 3 because we had to do so many restarts, all of them ending in disastrous crashes. There we go. Looks like we're about to get going again. I think Luca Gray said he didn't realise when race 2 started, which is why he's not on the grid, which is annoying. So he might have to join mid-races. There we go. Is that the pack being released with a green flag then? A couple of people seem to have been caught out here. Is this a formation lap then? Because we've not been told what's going on here. Because we're not in the team speak. Unless you can hear it on stream, but I don't know. Nick's not sent me a message explaining what's going on here. Load of nonsense in the chat between Alex Lahoo, Massimiliano Riboli, and the rest of the GPVWC field, who seems to be just doing this for entertainment. So, looks like the race is underway. It's a little bit hard to tell because they don't quite look like they're all going at racing speed. But perhaps this is going to be a roll. Oh, of course, this is the red flag procedure, of course. I've forgotten about this. This is a rolling start. So effectively, Tuomela is acting as a safety car here. And to be honest, with the default grid they've got here, the sign grid where everyone's 4 wide, almost, it probably makes an awful lot of sense to do it like this. Here we go. Looks like we're going green flag then. And Tuomela has bolted away as Moynier finds himself backed up into Magnussen, Hartley, and Bell in the battle for second here. And look at this, Magnussen up the inside of Moynier into turn 1 on the soft tyre. And this puts Moynier at the mercy of Louis Hartley. Hartley's going to try and go around the outside into Yentwood. And just about keeps it on track, but finds himself with Mike Bell up the inside into Chapman Curve. Can Mike Bell, the reigning champion, get himself up into 4th position? Yes, he can. And Morel is in 6th, just behind for the Speed Eagles on the medium tyre, ahead of Van Leeuwen. And we've got Schoenemann, English, and Hargitay all on the soft tyre, so they could be making up ground in this early part of the race as well. But Magnussen, he's got a good chance of winning this if he can get past Tuomela here. Meanwhile, Moynier having to hold back Mike Bell, Louis Hartley, and Marcin Morel as we see Van Leeuwen in more trouble. Schoenemann and Chris English pass him. He's got Tarzan very wrong as Magnussen lifting the wheels and cutting as much grass as he can get away with. So I just got a message from Luca Gray. Apparently, after being taken out by Mike Bell, he went off to the shops, which is why he missed the start of race 2, because he was clearly that pissed off about it. Patrick Magnussen now has got the inside. No, Tuomela doesn't fight him at all, but Mike Bell is at the inside of Moynier. Oh, and Bell a little bit off track on the inside as he takes 3rd position. And now wheel door banging between Hartley and Moynier. Hartley's going to try and go around the outside, but thinks better of it into Yentwood. And into Chapman Curve, they all go. So it is Magnussen, Tuomela, Bell, Moynier, Hartley, Morel, English, Schoenemann, Hargitay, and Pajal to the top 10. And Leeuwen coming into the pits, I think he may have had to retire there. That's a shame for the Finavon driver who started in the top 10 in this race. 19 drivers on the track at the moment then. Well, 18 if you don't count Van Leeuwen, who's out of the race, of course. Look at this, Morel goes a little bit wide, which allows Chris English on the soft tyre to have a run at trying to snatch 6th position. Into Brook Chicane they come. And Morel just has to defend the inside then. Loads of dust being kicked up. It's amazing the drivers can see where they're going through there. Magnussen, predictably, on the soft tyre, sits fastest lap of the race, 121.5. A second lap faster than Tuomela behind him, who's 1.2 behind now. And now he's got Mike Bell all over him at the first corner. Dean, but Tuomela sticks to the racing line, cuts across, and tries to back Bell back into his teammate Moynier, and of course Louis Hartley. Chris English, of course, yet to pass Morel, but could make this ground quickly here if he plays his cards right. And of course, not too big of a gap to Schoenemann and Hargitay fighting over 8th. Moynier still looks pretty racy here on the mediums. Of course, having got the softs out of the way in race 1, we see Ockenhaug and Ellis fueling away for 10th. Looks like all the Hunter Birches are squabbling with each other. Oh, look at this through Tarzan then. So this is Bell defending from Moynier and Hartley. And Moynier weaves out just to try and put off Mike Bell through Brook Chicane. But Mike Bell just ignores it completely. So 10 laps to go then. Should get through this fairly quickly. Chris English has set the fastest first sector of anyone, 32.6. So 0.3 of a second quicker than Magnussen in the lead on his soft tyres. That shows you the run he's getting from Morel here. And oh, Chris English has a think about it into turn 1, but has to back out and stick to the back of this train then. So because they're all being stuck in this train, this is allowing Magnussen to romp away up the road. But Tuomela has defended well here. He's got 0.3 on Mike Bell now. It could disappear quickly as Bell is himself more worried about defending. We know Mike Bell loves forming trains of cars behind him and just keeping them behind as long as he can. Hartley we're right on board with as he gets right close to the back of Moynier, pushes him along through Tarzan, quite literally. Into Brooks we go. Luckily, no one's taken out the boards on the right-hand side in this race. I guess we'll save that for race 3, won't we? Chris English hits a purple middle sector, 30.065, as Hartley gets a decent run onto the back straight. And look at this, English having another run at Morel into turn 1. Can Chris English get alongside? He's got one wheel alongside. That's going to turn into a whole car alongside. And now he's slightly ahead then as they approach turn 2, sorry. And up the inside goes Hartley on Luke Moynier. Hartley have been threatening to do that for a while. A crucial move there because he didn't want to get caught by the soft tyre shod Chris English. So Louis Hartley still, I believe, the points leader. Finishing 4th in race 1. Desperate to stop the KV86 powerhouses eating into his points lead. Moynier, of course, was a big rival for him in the championship. Tuomela and Magnussen still gaining points themselves. As look at this, Hargitay now has a go at Morel, who's starting to lose positions rapidly. Through Gracelands they go. Hargitay going to be stranded on the outside here. So you have to brake and then cut underneath him on the exit then through Tarzan. Morel holds position for now, but this train of cars continues then, all caught behind Tuomela. And look at this, Chris English now being attacked actually by Morel, is he? Yes, Morel had a good exit there. Chris English getting held up by Moynier. And this allows Hargitay to get back into the mix. And now Hartley fancies a go at Mike Bell here, one of his other title rivals. Tries to nip a wheel up the inside into turn 1. Not quite able to do so, as in the background I think Hargitay has cleared Chris English for 7th. So Hargitay, second of those on the soft tyre, as we see, was Rashk, I think, getting into trouble, falling down to 15th. As Chris English gets back in front of Oliver Hargitay through Chapman Curve. And they touch wheels there, and somehow Chris English stays on track there, but he's still side by side with Oliver Hargitay. The Hyundai's side by side then as they go in to Gracelands. And Hargitay, he's got a little bit of a better exit here, but he's going to be on the outside for Tarzan. Needs to stick to the racing line here. Cut underneath. Look at this. Hartley still continuing to harass Mike Bell then in the battle for 3rd position. So we'll switch to the inside, but he won't be able to brake late enough for Brooks. Hargitay, clears around the outside of Chris English then. So good defensive driving there. He clearly cut underneath at Tarzan. And the Goldtacular up into the top 7 then. So Hargitay, despite not doing a whole lot of, only about 5 laps of practice for this race, is now really coming to his own on the soft tyre. And Hartley now has got a good run. Is he going to get brake late and get the overlap into Dean Corner? Mike Bell's going to have to push out on the outside here, and he's going to have to try and defend his way into Yentwood here to try and force Louis Hartley onto the grass. Oh, there we go. He's successfully doing that. And look at this. That's allowed Moynier back through as well. So this has worked out really badly for Louis Hartley then. And he just about cuts in front of Morale and spins him around. Oh, just about saves that one. But that was a bit optimistic from the Speed Eagles driver. The Hargitay and English will speed through into 6th. And look at this. English taps the back of Oliver Hargitay. So lots of contact. It's getting very, very physical between these two soft tyre runners. And they now got a bit of a gap. 3 seconds to Louis Hartley ahead of them. And look at Schooneman going off track just behind on his soft tyres. So English refuses to give up. Oliver Hargitay not going to give up this 6th position without a fight, though. Through Tarzan he comes. And from here is that Hargitay is going to have to compromise his entry here into the chicane. And that's going to mean he'll have a slightly compromised exit, but he gets back to the racing line. Good driving from the number 72. Hargitay holds on to 6th for the time being then, but Moynier now all over the back of Mike Bell. He fancies some revenge here. Now Hartley is out of the picture, just 9/10 behind them. Chris English and the other Smile Power. One is defending, the other attacks. And now has to slot in behind Hargitay, who goes a little bit wide, but not too wide. That's pretty perfect racing line there. Magnussen, meanwhile, leading by 2.3 seconds. If he can pull this one off, all 3 of the KV86 Powerhouse drivers will have won, and they'll be pretty comfortably leading in the team's championship then. End of this race. Chris English sets the fastest first sector of the race, so Hargitay doing incredibly well to keep him at bay here. I think what could Chris English do if he could clear Hargitay? But from a Hunter Birch simulation point of view, good to see Oliver defend that position. Because this is easily going to be the most points we score yet. Moynier continuing, and now he's dragged Louis Hartley back into this battle. So it's our top 3 in the championship going into this round. Bell, Moynier, Hartley, in reverse order, of course. All fighting over the final slot on the podium. With 5 laps to go. So Louis Hartley has got to hope that with Moynier being slightly held up by Mike Bell, he can get through here. Chris English keeping the Hyundai, the sister Hyundai, I guess, of the Gold-tacular. Hunter Birch, very, very honest here. Only half gold, of course, because Nick Homer didn't want it to overload everyone's CPU when they're trying to process all the shiny gold. You see Schooneman 8/10 behind, and it looks like Rell is holding off Jeffrey Ellis in the background. Oh no, not anymore. Jeffrey Ellis through into 9th position. But this is a fantastic battle. Mike Bell doing Mike Bell things. What Mike Bell does best, which is keep people behind him and just fight like crazy. Not the greatest exit for Mike Bell, but he's going to have the inside then into Tarzan. Look, when he tries to dive around the outside, he's going to have to be brave to pull this one off. He might be able to get the inside then for Brooks. Here we go, side by side they go. A little bit of wheel bumping. Mike Bell trying to intimidate Louis Hartley. Sticking to the outside, seeing how this one plays out. Moynier dives up the inside of Mike Bell. And Louis Hartley just tries to go across the chicane to avoid any potential contact. But Moynier is slow here. This allows Louis Hartley back up the inside, back into 4th position then. And is he going to get the run on Mike Bell as well then? Just 3 more laps to go then. Look at this, Hartley gets a good line, but he's not quite close enough to do a risky dive into Dean Corner, so he backs off. Mike Bell just trying to slow up at the apex as much as possible. Tuo Mella is now starting to check out. 3 seconds behind Magnussen, so it's looking like another KV86 Powerhouse 1-2-1-2 here. Just as it was in race 1. Jowd currently holding on to the final point, 9/10 ahead of Tom Valadou. Ockenhack has just passed Gjorvad for 12th. Gjorvad, of course, on the soft tyres, as Lloyd Moynier has a little moment there while trying to fight Louis Hartley. And Hartley now wants revenge for Mike Bell pushing him off track earlier a little bit. But it was reasonably fair in Mike Bell's defense, especially compared to him just spinning Luca Gray around in the first race. A few of them saying he locked up and went flying, which is why he's 2 laps down, but fair play to continue despite really not enjoying life in that car at the moment. Andy Horton is out of the race as well, so Matthew Williams will at least finish in the top 17. As Moynier continues to just watch his battle. Oh, and Hartley bumps right into the back, and then the concertina effect comes into play as Tuamela goes a little bit of grass cutting as well. But Loic Moynier bumps into the back of Louis Hartley now, who's very much at his right in front of him, at his front bumper. Chris English, meanwhile, has cleared Hargitay for 6th and is now starting to close on this battle ahead of him on the softs. So they're still getting good performance after 12 laps. Depending on management, of course. He may have been saving them. Well, up front, Magnussen and Tuamela have got the first 2 positions locked down pretty much at this point. Mike Bell just continues to defend. Now he's got to rely on Hartley and Moynier fighting each other and falling into the clutches of Chris English then in these final 2 laps. And that would be ideal for Hargitay as well. He fancies getting back into 6th if possible. But just 2 laps to go then. We're starting the penultimate lap. Patrick Magnussen's ballooned his lead out to 4.2 seconds. Hartley again, not quite close enough, but will he get a run on the exit here? Look, Moynier just slowly being caught by Chris English, who laps 9/10 of a lap faster than the previous lap around. He's only 1.5 back now, so there might be a chance for Chris English on the final tour here, making it a 4-way battle, of course. Then Mike Bell, he knows he probably can't catch Tuamela, so he's sort of got a little bit of incentive to back these 2 up here, but the more he does that, the more likely is Louis Hartley will get through. Hartley desperate to get back on the podium then. Oh, here we go. The Smile Power hogs the middle of the road, forces Hartley to go off. Oh, a little bit of a spin as Mike Bell is hit by Loic Moynier, who dives up the inside of Louis Hartley and takes that 4th position back then at Tarzan. And now Mike Bell will have to defend the inside as Moynier, oh, he's not hanging around. He's braking late round the outside, but doesn't quite get the overlap and just about avoids spinning Mike Bell around. So fantastic tooth and claw battle here as they all fight like rats in a sack over the final podium position. Onto the final lap we go then. Who is it going to be in 3rd place? Mike Bell has held onto it for so long here. Loic Moynier's just got that 4th position. Is he going to lose it almost immediately as round the outside comes Louis Hartley trying to set himself up for a switchback move here, hoping that Mike Bell will just hold Moynier up and he can go around the outside. But now look in the background, Chris English has caught him now. So Hartley in danger here. Chris English sets himself up into Yentwood and now Chapman Curve. He seemed to have dropped Oliver Hargitay. Hargitay not quite close enough to take advantage. But if there's a collision here, look at Moynier. Oh, almost up the inside of Mike Bell, but that didn't work. That's allowed Louis Hartley back through into 4th then. So Hartley and Moynier have just taken turns attacking Mike Bell, but neither of them has made it through as Moynier gets loose, and this could allow Chris English around the outside of him into Tarzan then. Hartley, only a few more corners to go. He's got to mount this attack quickly here. Chris English up the inside of Moynier. He takes 5th position away from the Frenchman. Oh, but Moynier spins Chris English around. Oh, dear. That could have been avoided, and a grateful Oliver Hargitay goes through back into the top 6 then. So that battle is over. Magnussen crossed the line to win his first race in EERC British Touring Cars ahead of Noah Tuamela. Mike Bell is just going to hold on to 3rd by 0.3 of a second over Louis Hartley. Loic Moynier is 5th, despite that spinning Chris English around. Peter Schumer blows up the engine in a shower of fire. Shower of fire? Fire doesn't fall in a shower. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Zazielski's engine doesn't look too healthy either, but he crosses line 11th Ockenhaug is just going to... Oh, Pajad makes a late attack here. It's going to be close across the line then. And looking behind, that looks like Gjorvad, who's going to finish 12th. But it's Pajad that is just going to snatch 12th position away from Ockenhaug at the final corner of the race by 8 thousandths of a second there. Fantastic finish. Gjorvad actually finishes ahead of both of them in 12th. It's Valadu who was just behind there, I think. There's Matthew Williams. Gamely carrying on, so we'll see a few replays then of what happened. But to recap your race finishing order, it's Patrick Magnussen, the winner, from Noah Tuomela, Mike Bell in third, Louis Hartley fourth, Luke Moynier fifth, Oliver Hargitay gets his best finish so far this season in sixth, Chris English seventh after being spun around by Moynier at the end, Peter Schumann eighth, Jeffrey Ellis ninth, Marcin Morel 10th, Krzysztof Zielski 11th, Stan Gjorvad gets his first points in 12th, Magnus Ockenhaug 13th, Pajad 14th, Valadu takes the final points paying position for Hunter Birchgold, Tacula, Rashke 16th, Williams 17th, then Andy Horton and Lionel Van Leeuwen failed to finish. So this is replay of the rolling start, I believe. Is the two Hunter Birches of Valadu going wide, and that lets the other goal Tacula of Gjorvad through, I believe. There's Van Leeuwen. The engine's smoking, so Van Leeuwen just pushed it a little bit too far, and he was struggling before that point as well. Yeah, and round goes Marcin Morel there, so that's what's happened to him. There was that contact with, I believe it was Hartley, wasn't it? And that's dropped him back down the order, of course, where he finished 10th. There's Horton. Horton, oh, destroyed the engine then coming out of the Gracelands corner. And this is English. Look, Moynier was trying to hold it. Oh, did English turn across? And didn't... I felt a bit 50-50 there. I didn't quite realize that English actually turned across into the path of Lloyd Moynier. No, actually, no, he didn't. There was contact, and he was trying to save it, and ended up crashing into the wall and losing that place to Hargitay. Oh, there was a small gap there. I think Lloyd could maybe have avoided that one. I felt like a needless collision, really. But Magnussen, there we go. We get to see him cross the line again. Fantastic for him in KV86 Powerhouse. That's so many wins they've had in a row now. I think, didn't they win race 2 as well with Lloyd Moynier? So it's been Moynier, Tuomela, and Magnussen have all won in succession. So are we going to see another new winner in race 3? That remains to be seen. But just to give you a recap of who's got the softs available for race 3. Dale Hughes, Jeffrey Ellis, John Dipple, Josh Hughes, Krzysztof Zielski, Louis Hartley, interestingly, has got them ready for race 3. Magnus Ockenhaug as well. Marcin Morel, Matthew Williams, Mike Bell, Stanislav Pajad, and Tom Valadu. So we're about to see the reverse group poll decided. It's going to be from the magical position of 12th. So that's going to be Gjorvad on pole position, I believe. Great news for Hunter Birch. Letting him know. Rash says racing with Ockenhaug is like racing with a blind man. Is a pretty entertaining comment, but I'm not sure. Ockenhaug's been criticized for his aggressive driving in GPV FS2 as well. So I think the Norwegian's a good driver, but he's still got 1 or 2 things left to learn. I think it's fair to say. And Stian is understandably got mixed emotions there. I believe Luca Gray is back in the server now after coming back from the shop. So we're back to 23 cars starting race 3 then. Let's hope we do actually get to do race 3 this time, because we didn't in Imola. And it led to lots of restarts and lots of acrimony, but only having to do one restart in race 2 and the rolling start, I think, was probably a good decision. Someone's trying to phone me actually in the background. So I may take a quick break during warm-up because I've got no one to talk to. And I'll be back. Hello and welcome back to Rockingham for the third and final race of the day here at EERC British Touring Car Championship. My name is Edward Hunter. We've got one race left to go, race 3, and fingers crossed we will get to the end of it this time and everyone will get, well, the people who finish in the top 15 will get points for it. But, I mean, I can only hope so. We just realised that Stan Gjorvad has got reverse grid pole position, and he's sent me a message which he wants me to read out on stream. I'm not sure if I can say it. I don't know what it actually means, but he's daring me to, so I'll say it. It says Ibsens Ripsbayer Busker Og Andre Busk Vexter. I believe means Ibsen's current bushes and other shrubs. And Oliver Hagtais also says something. I forget which language this is. I think it's Finnish or Hungarian or some. Yes, Hungarian tongue twisters. Especially tongue twister if you don't speak Hungarian. But anyway, he gets on reverse grid pole, which is going to be interesting. He's got that inside line for the first corner. Alongside him, Krzysztof Zielski, Marcin Morel, and Jeffrey Ellis. For Smile Power then. The lights coming on. Race 3 about to get underway. How chaotic is this going to be? And we get going here at Rockingham. Dale Hughes has gone to the pits. So he's out of the pictures. Zielski's gone right around the outside of Gjorvad. So brilliant start from the Optiminal number 27 driver. Zielski leads from Gjorvad, English and Morel. And look at them, they're going 3 wide just behind. Peter Schumann trying to go up the inside of Jeffrey Ellis. And one of the KV86 powerhouses, that's Moynier. Oh, and there's one of the Smart Powers, goes off and hits one of the KV86s. That's Bell and Tuomela in trouble as Bajald hits the advertising hoarding and the 100-meter ball goes flying there. Oh my goodness me. So Gjorvad has retaken the lead then. So there must have been a mistake from Zielski. He's fallen down to 21st position. So it's Gjorvad, Morel, Schunemann, Hartley, English, Ockenhaug, Bell, Tuomela. Hagtais has gone up to 9th ahead of Magnussen. So there we go. Action, action, action all the way. Gjorvad is on the soft tyres as well, remember. Oh, and we're getting a red flag then. That's a shame. But there was obviously a crash at the back. So Gjorvad now will have to beat the safety car and the pace setter, which gives them a slightly better chance of holding the lead from Zielski. Yeah, absolute carnage into into turn 2 there. So for the second race event in a row, we get a race 3 that is restarted due to a crash on the opening lap. Let's hope we get to the opening lap, end of the opening lap this time. But again, I'm not really holding my breath, but hopefully the safety car start will help here. So Gjorvad, let's hope he knows, he's been informed by race director Nick Homewood what to do here. Zielski still stationary in the pits, as is Luca Gray and Dale Hughes. Now Zielski's on the grid now. There's Thomas Raschke. will start in 16th position, just behind the sister team car of Valadu. So there we go. Gjorvad gives himself plenty of room to work with here. I think he thought that was an actual start for a second there, but this, of course, is the pace car lap. Gjorvad will have plenty of time to get his tires up to temperature and his brakes operating well as well. Don't want cold brakes into turn 1. Or into turn 2, rather. You don't have to brake into turn 1, obviously, because it's just a flat-out left-hander. Who should we watch out for? So the top 4 all start on the soft tyre. As does Mike Bell in 10th. And Mike Bell has got the likes of Moynier, Hartley, Hargitay, English, Schoenemann ahead of him on the mediums. Remember, it is reverse grid from basically the top 12 of race 1. Race 2, I should say. We're on board with Morel. I'm interested to see how the Speed Eagles driver can do, whether he challenges Szylski for second position or whether he finds himself under attack from Ellis behind. Ellis could be the biggest threat here to Gjorvad, other than, of course, Szylski nailing that start, as we saw in the first attempt at starting this race. But just a few corners to go now, and Gjorvad, he'll have to decide when to go for it here. But this is going to be his final race for a while, because he goes back to military deployment, I believe. His commanding officer, we thank very much for letting him take part today in the number 42. But let's see, Gjorvad now lets the pack bunch up, gets towards the start-finish line. Is he going to go any moment? Penalty for Ockenhaug in 13th position, but it looks like Gjorvad is bolted then. There we go, pulls to the outside, and he's going to lead through into turn 1. But behind is a little bit bunched up. Schoenemann going side by side with Jeffrey Ellis, and Schoenemann has got the inside then. So Ellis not getting the greatest run on the softs. There we go, that looked like Moynier and Mike Bell just once more almost tangling. Schoenemann trying to go around the outside of, oh, who's that in the Goldtacular there? Oh dear, there's been another Goldtacular that spun around as well. Oh dear, that's Valadu who's lost it. Oh, off track goes the other Goldtacular. That must have been Hargitay then, who falls down to 10th. The Gjorvad in the third of our Goldtacular still leads in number 42 by 0.4 of a second from Szylski. Then it's Morel, Ellis, who's held off Schoenemann. Mike Bell has got up to 7th, so Mike Bell, the big mover on the soft tyres in this opening phase, this opening lap of the race or two. Dale Hughes, the only retirement stationary in the pit lane so far. Oh, look at this! Big dive from Stanislas Bajard into Tarzan and finds himself side by side with one of the Optiminals then. That must be not Tuomela, it's he's just past Tuomela actually. It was Ockenhaug who just got through there. Tuomela trying. Oh, Ockenhaug, that's way too ambitious and takes all 3 of them tangling together. That was clumsy enough, and Bajard goes around, gets hit by Tuomela again. Oh dear. Matthew Williams is going to gratefully take a position here off of Tuomela. So Tuomela, who won the first race, now finds himself down in 14th position. Ockenhaug, who already got a penalty, I think, for trying to jump the start or cut the corner on the formation lap there, essentially, behind the safety car of Gjorvad. Oh, look at that. English trying to dive up the inside of Schoenemann and being denied. The way was blocked there. So English now being backed into his teammate Mike Bell. It'll be interesting to see English and Mike Bell, of course, fought for championship last year a couple of times, didn't they? And there we go. Mike Bell is allowed through by Chris English because Mike Bell is on those softer tyres. So good teamwork from Small Power. And now Schoenemann could be in trouble here. Ellis, meanwhile, sees Morel and Szylski squabbling over second position here. So let's see how long this goes. But Xiang Gjorvad, 24-2, he's lapping similarly to the other cars around him on the softs. And look at this. Morel tries to go up the inside at Tarzan, but Szylski having none of it in the Optiminal and defends position then. So Jeffrey Ellis will be enjoying this because he knows these two tangled. There's a chance of getting up into second and challenging for the win, especially with Schoenemann still holding up Mike Bell behind. But Mike Bell, he's had a lot of successes in race threes before. Last year, that was one of the keys to his championship, being able to make it Grand Gjorvad. Of course, first across the line, sets the fast lap of the race, but that's beaten by Ellis and then beaten by Moynier, surprisingly, down in 8th. You see Morel getting closer again to Szylski. And Krzysztof having to get defensive as Gray sets the fastest lap of the race down in 20th, of course. He's getting back into this race after skipping race 2 because he went to the shops, of course. Came back just after it started after being taken out by Mike Bell in race 1 as Morel goes around and was hit by Jeffrey Ellis. And Morel is facing the wrong way and everyone trying to avoid him there. That looked like Hargitay going a little bit on the grass too as Mike Bell now goes up the inside of Peter Schoenemann and takes 4th position away from him. So Smart Power 3rd and 4th now. So this is all going their way at the moment. Is Jeffrey Ellis. There we go. Mistake from Ellis, actually. And now Mike Bell will try and go around the outside. Succeeds at going around the outside. And now Ellis has got to hold off. Oh, not only his teammate, but Peter Schoenemann as well. Chris English now getting involved in this battle too for 4th position. There we go. Smile Power, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And Mike Bell has now just got Szylski and Gjorvad ahead of him then. So this could come down to Bell versus Gjorvad if he can clear Szylski quickly. 2.2 seconds the gap, and Szylski only half a second behind Gjorvad. So it's wide open then with 10 laps to go. Luca Gray continues to try and make up ground behind Pajad, his teammate. And there we go. Chris English and Jeffrey Ellis swap positions through turn 1. And look at this. Peter Schoenemann now fancies a go at Ellis into Dean corner. Turn 2 right up the inside, and look for Moynier. Dangerous around the outside as there's a little tangle between Ellis and Schoenemann. Hartley now also involved in this battle too, with Hargitay keeping a close watching brief. We're right on board with Louis Hartley, Season 2 champion. And the Scotsman find a way through past Loic Moynier. And that was the whole battle in the first race. The race before, sorry, in race 2. Oh, sort of been battle of the season. Moynier, Hartley, and Bell. And look at this little opening from Moynier through the Gracelands corner. Now towards Tarzan they come. And Hartley tries to position to go up the inside of both of them. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? Moynier is dispensed of. And look at Hargitay as well. He fancies getting involved as well. But that was beautiful from Louis Hartley. Ellis and Moynier dispatched in one. Bell swoop, and Moynier hits the back of Jeffrey Ellis. He's getting held up here by the soft tyre shod runner. Has Ellis already burnt up his soft tyres here? Meanwhile, up front, Mike Bell lapping 8 tenths of a second quicker than Szylski and 9 tenths per lap quicker than Gjorvad. So the top 3 starting to converge here. This could get very, very tense indeed then. It's also started to rain, as you can see, the windscreen wiper whirring left and right on Loic Moynier's windshield there. So it's all kicking off then in race 3. Yellow in the first sector as Ockenhaug comes into the pits. Horton starting to lose places as well, with Matthew Williams in that battle for the final points-paying position on the soft tyre. The rain gets really heavy. This could really change the complexion of the race. I wonder if someone like Luca Gray might gamble on the wet tyres here, with still half the race left to go. There's Mike Bell. He's caught up to Szylski. What can the Optiminal driver do to keep him at bay? Szylski, oh, a dummy from Mike Bell. That's beautiful stuff there from the small power driver. The reigning champion goes up the inside, restricts Szylski's line and movement. And the Hyundai, oh, it's going to try and come back at him, though, into Brook Chicane. How late will Krzysztof Szylski break here? Oh, he's going to give it a go, but just about overcome by Mike Bell there. So beautiful driving from Mike Bell. Now Szylski will have to deal with Chris English as well, who's also looking quite menacing. But now Gjorvad, 1.3 seconds his gap to Bell. So Stian is going to have to do a mighty job here to keep the reigning champion at bay. But there could still be a podium in it for the Hunter Birch Goldtacular driver. It would be Hunter Birch's first podium of the season, given the horrible luck they've had so far. And especially with Mike Bell spinning Luca Gray around. I just hope he doesn't repeat the feat here. And look at this, Moynier trying to go around the outside of Jeffrey Ellis then. Ellis, who has really been holding him up in this race as the rain continues to fall. Moynier's got the inside. This is going to be very physical. And he's just going to have the inside then into Chapman Curve. And is Oliver Hargitay going to be able to take advantage of this as well in the Goldtacular Hunter Birch? Then they're still side by side in front of him. Moynier goes wide. And this will allow Hargitay through then into 8th position. So not quite working out for Loic Moynier there. But look at this. English now has got the run on Szylski. But Szylski's got the inside into Tarzan. Chris English with the grip starting to decrease here. We'll have to judge the line well. It's going to be around the outside. Szylski holds that 3rd position But English might have a dive into Brook Chicane here. It's getting wetter and wetter here at Rockingham. Still no pitters for the wet tyres, though, as we see yellow in the first sector. As Wright, looks like Darren Wright has come into issues there. He drops behind Luca Gray down to 17th position. There is Moynier, who's got back ahead of Oliver Hargitay then. Mike Bell now. Another 7/10 a lap quicker than Gjorvad. He's 3/10 behind at the moment. This is the battle for the lead. Gjorvad goes a little bit wide as the rain's starting to just catch him out a little bit here. So Gjorvad will have to keep his nerve. He's never been in this position before, and he's looking absolutely treacherous out there. But so grateful, of course, to get that reverse grip hold, but needs to make the most of it. He goes a little bit wide through Chapman Curve. This could be the opportunity for Mike Bell. Then, as we see behind, Moynier battling Ellis again on those soft tyres. Mike Bell has got the inside then as they go on the run down Steel Straight and into Graceland. Gjorvad tries to hold him off to the outside. He goes a little bit wide here, and that's going to be Mike Bell through. Oh, at Gracelands then. And Mike Bell will surely get the inside. No, he backs off there. So that was little bit side by side there, and he decided to back off there, did Gjorvad, sorry. So Mike Bell takes the lead for Smile Power Racing. Valadou says he's been pushed off in the grass, so that's why he's out of the race. The rain continuing to fall, and Gjorvad surely got to stay out, though. Nobody is pit for the wets then, so they all think it's not going to get wet enough, quick enough. Or they're not far down enough to take the gamble, I guess. Gjorvad now's got to focus on holding off Chris English then in what's going to become the battle for second then in these last 5 laps or so. Mike Bell, though, well on his way to what will be his first victory of the season, I believe. As we see Moynier, forcing Ellis into a mistake. Ellis brakes way too deep, goes off track completely. And a load of cars go through there. So Moynier goes through Hargitay, Magnussen, and Tuomela as well. So all the KV86 is fighting back then from a difficult start to this race as Chris English now trying to go around the outside of Gjorvad. Gjorvad goes a little bit deep onto the Steel Straight, and that's going to allow several people through. Hartley comes through as well, so Gjorvad down to 4th then. So any chance he had of a podium seemed to be slipping away here. The soft tyres only worked for so long, and the rain, it's getting really, really wet now. Is anybody going to gamble now with just under 4 laps to go? Is that enough time to make up on the wet tyres here? On-screen wipers doing their job. Gjorvad now has got to worry about Szylski, who's caught back up to him. But still, 4th would be a very, very good return for Hunter Birchgold-tacular. It's been a difficult start to their season. Moynier now in a battle with Peter Schoenemann again. For 6th position, and Schoenemann's starting to really hold him up here. 5 laps to go then after this one, including this one that we just started then. Moynier then sets up Peter Schoenemann. Try and go to the outside here into Dean Corner. A little bit of flashing of the lights there from Schoenemann to try and put KV86 powerhouse driver off. Moynier will have to switch to the outside here because Schoenemann's getting defensive. And Hartley gets past Chris English. As off track goes Oliver Hargitay. At turn 3, and that's going to allow, Noah Tuomela and Magnussen and Ellis through. So there we go. Chris English has been overcome by Louis Hartley, who's not given up on trying to win this race on the medium tyres. But Mike Bell is making hay, not while the sun shines, but while the rain falls. There's still plenty of action then coming on into this race. Looks like Moynier up the inside of Schoenemann then through Gracelands. It's a good move there. Schoenemann goes, too wide. Both him and Moynier go off track then, so there's no grip on this surface as everyone is making mistakes in the braking zones and going off. So Moynier and Schoenemann losing a load of places there. So that puts Gjorvad has lost out to Szylski, but look at this. English still on the back of Louis Hartley. Conditions getting more and more treacherous by the lap here. I wonder if someone like Matthew Williams might pit for wets here. Although he is only 3.76 by Morel. Gjorvad still fighting away with Szylski. What a fantastic fight. Tuomela comes in. So he's going to gamble on the wets then, but is it too late potentially to take advantage of that? Tuomela, this could make his race or it could leave him quite a way behind. The rain really heavy now. Look at this. Chris English still fighting away with Mike Bell. Yeah, Tuomela going for the wets right, and Thomas Raschke as well. So this is big, big gamble here for all of them in their race. We're going to see a replay now. Lord knows of what of. But this is Mike Bell. Did Bell go too wide into turn 2 into Dean and hit the wall? Oh, so that's why English has got back ahead. So Bell, oh, very good spin turn there. But Mike Bell has lost the lead then, and Louis Hartley has taken it then. So Mike Bell, after doing all that hard work, finds himself in a real difficult spot here. So they're all coming out the pits right now. I think it's going to be Tuomela leaving first, then Raschke, Wright, and Williams. This, Louis Hartley now just holding on to the lead from Chris English. And Mike Bell, nursing that damage, is now going to have to hold on to third position. So much happening here, especially with the rain. Very, very hard to keep up then. Tuomela's got away first, then it's Raschke, 14 seconds behind him. So Tuomela, he's got to make up 12 seconds to Ellis, and then he's got to start making moves. As Mike Bell completely cuts across the track there. That car looks very, very busted, the small power car, and Mike Bell will be kicking himself because he knows a chance to win here has gone begging. So 2 more laps to go then, and Louis Hartley leads Chris English by 0.4 of a second. 1.8 seconds to Mike Bell. Moynier and Magnussen coming in. So KV86, they think it's going to get too wet here. It's getting too wet. They want to try and survive this race. Luca Gray, by not pitting and staying out, is going to get up into 10th place here. Hargitay pits as well. An interesting call. Oh, and that's Zazielski facing the wrong way. Oh dear, so Gjorvad back up to 4th then. So he has done exactly what Mike Bell did at the first corner. Jeffrey Ellis is out. Oh, Pajau goes right into Zazielski, who is going against the flow of traffic there, which is not particularly sensible, it must be said. Oh, Pajau goes wide at turn 3 and off track as well. So it's so difficult. It's like driving on an ice rink right now. Loic Moynier has gotten ahead of Hargitay, crucially, and Magnussen. And they've all stayed ahead of Tuomela, so that long pit stop that was made. Oh, as Pajau tangles again with Zazielski, and this could allow Luca Gray to take advantage. Luca Gray gets right to the inside to avoid any dramas here, and that's Zazielski dispenser. He's going to get Pajau as well. Look at that, as a Finnevond of Schoenman going very slowly too. Luca Gray then gets up to 7th. So Hartley somehow holding on to the road. Mike Bell with a very damaged car still holding on to 3rd, 3 seconds ahead of Gjorvad. Loic Moynier leads those on the wet tyres then. 2 laps to go. Well, we are getting close to the penultimate lap here. Everyone wounded and just struggling to keep their heads in this immense torrential downpour. Is staying out the right call? Is there just too much ground for those on the wet tyres to make up here? Loic Moynier comes out the pits, sets a 42.5, I think. What lap times was Tuomela doing? 37s, leaders in the 39s and 40s. So 3 seconds a lap per sector. It's too much ground to really make up here because Tuomela is like 57 seconds down. Moynier's 40 seconds down on the lead. As we look at Luca Gray going up the inside of Schoenemann. Oh, and this is such a challenge for all of these drivers on these dry, slick, dry condition tyres in pouring rain, essentially. Although it has stopped, interestingly. And it's full sunny weather now, so the track will start to dry over this final lap. And could that go against all those who went for the wet tyres here? But potentially Luca Gray could end up being the big winner here. Sarema as well. Here comes Luca Gray on Schoenemann, who's looking very, very vulnerable as they go into Gray's lands. Gray's going to be on the inside here. Oh, beautiful stuff there. And Schoenemann gets well out the throttle. And Luca Gray gets himself into 6th place there. Fantastic drive from the British driver. Schoenemann will try and have a look up the inside into Tarzan. But there's just no grip here. Oh, and that's what Luca Gray's discovering as well. Oh, barges into the side of Luca Gray. And Gray will have to hope he's got the inside for Brooks here. They come into that chicane at the end of the lap. The lights all on these cars. As you see behind them, Zazielski and Pajau fighting over 8th position. And is that... that's Gjorvad who's made a mistake because Sarema has taken 4th position off of him. Oh, as Schumann's starting to push Luca Gray along here. So this could be interesting then. Gjorvad and Gray starting to converge around. Goes the Optiminal of Szylski into the wall at the start-finish straight as we go into the final lap then. And Louis Hartley's got the gap to Chris English to 1.9 seconds then. But this race, so many twists and turns. Moynier has gained a lot of time. He's up to 9th now ahead of Van Leeuwen. And he's only 7 seconds behind Pajald. But he might just about catch at the end. Szylski has had to retire after hitting the wall there. So that promotes Thomas Raschke and Tuo Mella and Hargitay as well. Yeah, Van Leeuwen is a sitting duck down 11th then for all the wet runners. Because this track's still pretty wet, but gradually drying out, which will save some of the drivers here on this final lap. Luca Gray's caught up to Gjorvad. Don't take each other out, boys. Gjorvad, start on reverse grid poles. Got to be careful here. Luca Gray, he runs very, very wide. Does Gjorvad. And that's going to put him off track a little bit. So Gjorvad just about rejoins. But Louis Hartley, though, is about to win by 2 seconds here. Fantastic drive from the Finavon driver, the Season 2 champion. Comes out the final corner now. And race 3 victory is going to go to Louis Hartley. Of course, he won the first race of the season. He wins here in Rockingham as Mike Bell is going to be let through by Chris English on the final lap here. That was dramatic and a half. As we see, that must be Matthew Williams being lapped by the both of them there. So Mike Bell will still finish second despite the damage as Schumann cuts across the chicane to try and catch Gjorvad. So it is going to be English third, Sarema fourth. Gray is coming through now to take fifth ahead of Gjorvad. And then Peter Schumann seventh, Pajad eighth. Moynier is going to come through in 9th. Then there we get to the wet tyres not quite working out. Magnussen 10th, Hargitay 11th, Van Leeuwen 12th, Tuomela 13th, Raschke 14th, and downright will take the final points paying position with everyone else retiring from the race. There we go. Oh, as Thomas Raschke just hits the wall, trying to get a little bit too much speed out of the wet tyres there as he tries to chase down Tuomela. But there we go. Dramatic race 3, and it's Louis Hartley that takes the victory then. It'll be interesting to see how this affects the championship. So good day for KV86 Powerhouse, but ends in drama. And I have to say, a missed opportunity for Mike Bell to win that, but he still does limit the damage in second position then. But you take nothing away from Louis Hartley. That was a superb drive from him. Chris English plays the team game very, very well. And ends up banking third position. Sarema, we didn't talk too much about him, but he stayed out and gained a lot in that race. Luca Gray, another one who stayed out and had a brilliant comeback from the very back of the grid to 5th position. Gjorvad drops from first grid pole to 6th position, but does get some points on the board for him, which is good for Hunter Birch. They really needed that. Peter Schumann will take 7th ahead of Pajald. Then it's Loic Moynier and Patrick Magnussen rounding out the top 10. On the wet tyres. Hargitay 11th ahead of Van Leeuwen, who was stayed out on the mediums but dropped down the order. Noah Tuomela 13th ahead of Thomas Raschke, and is downright in 15th taking the final point. And the non-finishers, Szylski, Williams, a lap, 2 laps down. Morel, 2 laps down. Ellis in 19th. Andy Horton, also DNFs. And joining him will be, is Valadu and Ockenhauer, of course.
Ooh.
So we just been joined in the country box by everyone, it seems, who just decided to invite themselves in. It's,
Hi,
of course, very rude
I'm
and
one
a
of the
massive
everyone.
breach of protocol, so they'll all be penalised heavily, of course. I'm just kidding. But anyway, who shall we speak to first? Shall we speak to our winners in order then? Because they all seem to have come here. So who won race 1 again? It was... it wasn't Moynier, it was Mr. Tuomela, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Noah Tuomela joins us from KV86 Powerhouse then. So Noah, big qualifying lap to get on that pole position, wasn't it, against Patrick Magnussen, and then pulling away on the softs in race 1 to take that first victory to really banish all the bad memories of the track cut from Imola that cost you a chance of winning that one. And then lots of drama in race 2, but again, just out in second, holding the fort while all the battles were going on behind you. And then race 2, all of you, race 3, sorry, I should say, everyone gambled on the wets, and it didn't quite pay off for KV86 Powerhouse. So is that a fair summing up of the day?
I just accidentally refueled. That's what fricked me up.
Okay. I don't think you have to apologize for language because that's what they say in Battlestar Galactica. So I guess it's okay.
Okay.
Freaking.
I refueled. That's what fucked me up.
Oh, there we go. If you're going to swear, do it properly, I guess. Apologies, ladies and gents. So
Nice.
refills during the tyre stop in the final race. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. But other than that, qualifying was superb. The
Yes.
first 2 races, there wasn't really any complaints. You really maximised for the team, didn't you?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Many words.
So no celebratory. So I guess you're already focused on the next round at Road Atlanta. Then good circuit for you, Noah?
Maybe.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. But thanks for coming to talk to us, Noah Tuomela. That was really worth the effort there. Swears and then says very little. Okay, very Kimi Räikkönen-esque. So let's now shift our attention to race 2 winner, Patrika Magnussen, who's also with us. Patrika, congrats then on your first win in EERC British Touring Cars for KV86 Powerhouse. Just pipped a pole in race 1 and then letting Loic through on the soft tyres. Then race 2, things really went your way. You really got your chance on the softs and got to really pull clear. You got ahead of your teammates quickly, and it felt like they cooperated well with you, didn't they, in all the races today?
Yeah, the teamwork was very good on the call and in the race, and we managed to work very well together today.
Absolutely. So, you're confident about winning the team's championship then? Of course, Christian Vasdar, I'm sure, will be delighted with how getting a 1-2-3 in race 1, especially then following it up with a 1-2, led by you, of course. That must be a special feeling.
Yeah, things are looking right now. We are on a very good course. I'd say we are at least going for the top 2, but we will have to see how it ends in 26th of June.
And what do you make of the chaos in race 3, by the way, going for the wet tyre? Do you think it was the right call, or do you think you would have been better off staying out?
I should have put 1 lap earlier, then it would have been a good call. But otherwise,
Always the way, though,
taking
isn't it?
yeah,
brain.
but if we, I think we shouldn't have gone for the wets, but yeah, it wasn't a good gamble.
But anyway, thank you very much, Patrick, for talking to us. Congrats on your win in race 2, and I'm sure we'll see more from you on Road Atlanta, 17th of April.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. Yes.
So before we talk to the final of our KV86 Powerhouse drivers, let's talk to race 3 winner, Louis Hartley. So, Louis, congrats then. What a fantastic drive in race 3 to take your second victory of the season. But races 1 and 2, you were in a battle pretty much all the way with Loic and with Mike Bell as well. And Mike Bell crashing out in treacherous rain conditions really gifted you that first place. But to be fair, Chris English was all over the back of you pretty much all of race 3, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was very, very wet, especially for slicks.
Yeah.
They weren't particularly nice to drive on. I mean, so for reference, in the dry, you can press the brake as hard as you possibly can, and you've got no chance of locking up unless you try turning in at the same time. In the wet, I'm not sure if I can even get to press it halfway without locking up all 4 tires. It was brutal for the amount of grip there. And then getting on the throttle afterwards was just like, if you give it the tiniest bit too much, you are just going to go in a straight line off the track. So, like, Mike Bell, was it Bell that crashed?
It was from the lead.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the rookie monsters. I couldn't remember which one.
Power, you mean?
I thought it was like a combination, Smile Power Rookie Monsters.
It is yeah, okay. Well, technically you're right, but they use the Smile Power logo, and Smile Power comes first, and it's Mike Bell's team, so yeah.
I see. Fair enough then. I was surprised when I saw him go off. I saw that the rain suddenly got quite a bit heavier while it was going down the start-finish straight for that lap. So I just thought, no point risking anything. I'll brake like 50 meters early, just on the off chance into turn 1. And I still nearly managed to miss it. So who knows where he brakes, and he just went flying into the wall. That was the end of that. Chris English, on his return to the championship, he was rather quick as well. I was struggling to hold him behind
in season 2, wasn't he, to you? So
yeah, exactly. I remember we had good races with each other at Rockingham in season 2 as well. So I knew he was going to be quicker in there, but in the wet, he just would not leave me alone at all until the last few laps when I got a bit of a gap. So it was a fun one, that. I enjoy this track. I might be the only one. I don't think many other people here enjoy this track.
Well, I think most of my drivers seem to hate the car they were driving, specifically the Ford Focus. They didn't really like. I think I'm gonna be lucky if I get Matt Williams in one of my cars ever
Hmm.
again, because after race one, he's like, "That's it, I'm done, and I'm only doing the rest because you made me."
That's odd.
Well,
I like,
I'm putting words in his mouth there. I think he was a bit more reasonable than that.
to be honest, I like the Focus a lot more than the Hyundai, and obviously I've driven both in this championship, so I think I'd far rather be in this one than like your other team. It's not a fun car, that Hyundai. It just doesn't turn in my experience.
Okay, well, it seems different strokes for different folks and different
Yeah.
driving styles. I can't think of anything that rhymes with styles that works in this context. So there we go. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, Louis, looking forward to Road Atlanta. I believe you're still in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, but I believe Loic and Mike may have... Loic definitely is closed in a little bit.
He's not closed in at all, and I can tell you that because he was 1 point behind me before this round, so
Oh, okay.
I'd like to see him close that gap. But we'll see. It's another month away, I think. There's a big gap, so I'm not even thinking of that yet. I'll get round to it eventually, but it's a fun track. I like Road Atlanta, so I'd like to see myself do well there.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming to talk to us, and congrats on the win in a dramatic race. I think at one point you pulled off a double move into the hairpin Tarzan, which was great to watch. So
The thing is with that one, I didn't try to go for a move. I think Loic and... I can't
it was
remember if
Loic and
Chris or
Jeffrey Ellis.
Jeffrey. Yeah.
It was Jeffrey,
I
yeah.
think they both just missed their braking point. I didn't even attempt to brake late there, and I happened to go up their inside.
It was still a great piece of opportunism regardless, and thanks for coming to talk to us, Louis.
No worries.
Right, so now we move on to Mr. Loic Moynier himself. No wins, but a second place in race 1, a 4th in race 2, and then a gamble on the wet tyres, which I believe was, if I'm not mistaken, was I think your call, at least you were part of that decision, Loic, and it didn't quite pay off in the end. We heard from Patrick here earlier that he used a little bit on the fence about it and felt maybe it would have been better to stay out. So, like, you've got to be happy with those first 2 races, because a 1-2-3 followed by a 1-2, a 1-2-4, I guess. That's great points in the team's championship. But I think that third race, there's a little asterisk over that, isn't it? Because it was a bold call to go for the wets, and a load of other people followed as well. In the end, there was just too much ground to make up.
Yeah, in the end, I was very happy about race 1 and 2. See those boys get their higher ups, their podiums and wins. I'm just there to see them do that. So yeah, if they complete their objective, that's awesome. Race 3's mistake was to not split strategies, not let at least someone go out there on slicks and try his best. It was part of my call, and well, it's strategy mistake happens. You pit one lap too early, you're done. So,
but it's understandable because you were in the middle of that pack in the fight for 6th, weren't you? And you're thinking,
yeah. And when I
go
lost
for the win here.
I lost my car at the hub, and I braked just too late, even if it felt early. And then I was like, well, I'm over, so might as well just box for wets and see where I end up, because I can't make up 5 seconds in the wet with slicks. As good as I am, I can only pray for mistakes for others, because everyone has to drive carefully to not die. So might as well take on the wets and see where I end up. But I shouldn't have drawn my teammate into it.
You're saying you should have split the strategies, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I have to say congrats on the podium in FSR Pro for Team Iris, your first podium of the season, because I didn't get to say that, obviously, because there's no post-race interviews there. And I have to say best of luck again to you and Team Iris for ES on Saturday. Well, I'll again be commentating on you.
Appreciate the gesture. Thank you, Ed. Maybe I'll drive the car. See you there.
Well, best of luck. Great to talk to you as always, Loic. So I think we've got one more driver who we want to interview just now. And there we go. We're joined now by Hunter Birch Simulation's very own Luca Gray. So Luca, obviously not a great race 1 because qualified brilliantly and then just got taken out by Mike Bell, I think it's fair to say. Race 2, Journey to the Shops. So you didn't quite get back in time.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. I probably should have told you what time race 2 was, but never mind. And then race 3, from the very back, everyone pits in front of you, and in treacherous conditions, you just about keep it on track, and you catch Stian and Peter Schumann right at the end on the slick tires, and you're able to nip through into I think it's top 5 in the end, isn't it?
I don't actually know because I wasn't paying attention to that. But it was a fun race in the end. But unfortunate about race 1. Mike said,
it was 5th, definitely.
Yeah, Mike said he was hit by someone else, but I've not looked at the replay yet. So
okay,
Just need to
well,
look
it's
at
not
that.
like my bell to lie, so probably I was a little bit annoyed with Mike at the time, but maybe and I let it show a little bit in commentary, but to be fair, I think I did let him off about a few seconds later. I'm a bit biased, and Mike did win the championship for me the previous year, so maybe I'll let him off this one time. But yeah, it's great to have you back in the championship, Luca, and I think that race 3 really showed what you're capable of in pretty horrific conditions. Because I saw a couple of your teammates, Thomas Raschke and a couple others, Matt Williams as well, went into the pits. Did you think about pitting, or did you think,
Nah,
I'm better off staying out?
it's not worth it. It's
Yeah, because Stan was staying out, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, by the time it was time to pit for wets, you just lose too much time in the pits. It's just
Every time you say
it's not
to me, by the way, I'm going to assume that means yes, just for future reference.
Okay. Okay.
Right, but wow, I have to say, I'm really looking forward to future races with you can do with us now, and I'll make sure to let you know exactly when race 2 is, just in case
Yeah.
you get taken out in race 1 again, because that was a shame as well. Because I think you were using the softs in race 1 as well, weren't you?
Race 2.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, after Imola, where we had the softs for race 3 for I think all of our drivers, and then race 3 got cancelled, and now another race where our driver picks the softs for that race and then doesn't get to use them. So that's a shame, but these things happen, I guess. And there was a shopping trip that was unavoidable and had to be done at that point, so fair enough.
Yeah, I just needed to get
Put it
away
on the team expenses, yeah.
Yeah.
And knock it off. Anyway, do you think you can fight for podiums in the rest of the season, or do you think just your target's just scoring consistent points in the Focus? Because a lot of people complaining about the Focus, but it seems you were able to get some decent pace out of it.
To be honest, it drives like a pig. So that's my best analysis of it. But
I want to say all cars are handled the same and all the setups work on every car. Thank you.
Okay. Well, all cars handle like pigs then.
There we go. I guess there's not a good car that I could have picked, as everyone just criticizes the choices that I let them make. But anyway, Luca, it was a pleasure to have you out on track and to commentate on you, and I look forward to how you get on for the rest of the season. Best of luck, and thanks for coming to talk to us.
Thank you.
All right, I think we might just have time for Christian Vazda, who's on his own in the waiting room, so I'll see if I can. I can't drag him in. There we go. I've not the permissions. But now, Christian Vazda, team principal of KV86 Powerhouse, joins us. So, Christian, it's only fitting that you should get the final word, because that was a big day for you. A 1-2-3, only I think the second or third time that's ever happened. And the third team I think that it's been happened to in EERC British Touring Cars. Followed up by another 1-2-4. And then a gamble for the wets in race 3 that doesn't quite pay out. But still, on the whole, a very, very good day in Rockingham for you guys.
I am very happy about that. I like how you already said it's a 1-2-4. We share, I guess, a few brain cells together. We know what happened. We know what will happen. Yeah, it was a very great race for us. I can't complain. The drivers were relatively happy. I'm happy. We had some fun. And I think this is what it's all about. It's about having fun mostly.
Exactly. And we heard from Loic, he sort of ended up regretting a little bit the switch to the wet tyres at the end, and felt maybe they should have had a couple of the KV86s stay out. I guess you would have maybe been in the call with them and involved in that decision as well. I'm assuming you agree with Loic on this one, that it was a gamble worth doing, but in the end it didn't quite pay out the way you would have wanted.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, it was a gamble worth doing. It would have worked. Well, relatively worked. We would have either broken even or gained a place with Noah, but he ended up refueling his car, which was completely pointless and just gave us a very heavy car and lost us a lot of time. So in the end,
Easy
Noah,
to do
who was
when
the leading
it rains
car
all of
at
a sudden
one
and you're
point,
panicking there.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. It's just, I don't know. He hasn't set up a pit stop in a while, and then it goes the wrong way.
But nevertheless, all three of your drivers have won races this season now, haven't they? Loikin race 2 in Imola, I think, and now Noah and Patrick as well.
What can I say? I know how to pick him.
You certainly do. I wish I did. But like, to be fair, Luca did all right.
Don't say it like that.
And I think Stian, I think it was nice to see him on reverse group pole, and he held on for about as long as he could have. And to be fair, he's only doing a one-off because I think he's going back to military service. So again, we thank Stian Gjorvaert's commanding officer for letting him have the day off to drive with us, and he had a fun
That's
time
nice.
at Rockingham.
Well, you've had
anyway,
you've had 2 drivers' championships. I think you're pretty decent at picking drivers.
Well,
at
it seems the odd number years no, it's only the odd number seasons we do well. It's the even numbers like this season that we do badly. So season 2 we lost. We had the revolving door of drivers. Season 4, it looks like we've already got a revolving door of drivers. Certainly going to have to find someone to replace Matt Williams now, who will probably never speak to me ever again after me asking him to drive that car. But I'm not sure I can blame him after how much he was struggling out there. But to be fair, he did get to the end of the last 2 races, which I do appreciate. So good on Matt for doing that. And we hope to see him again in a privateer entry, which I think is his plan at the moment. But anyway.
So clearly you have your fair share of gold. You know how to pick him.
That's
you seem
very
to
true.
do better in rear-wheel drives. It's all you've got the championships in so far. We'll see. It's a shame that they're not here this season. I mean, I like it because it's more well-balanced, only having the front wheel
Fair, I
drives.
guess. We also don't have Mike Bell or Mia Rose in the car, which is definitely a
Those
small
would have
advantage.
helped, yeah.
But anyway, I think we're making this a little bit too much about my team struggling, so that's probably a good time to end it then. So, congratulations then to KV86 Powerhouse, Noah Tuomela, Patrick Magnussen, and to Finavon Motorsport and Louis Hartley. So that's Rockingham done and dusted. We'll be back for round 3 on the 17th of April in the United States at Road Atlanta. So join us then for more mayhem, possibly more rain, because it always seems to drip down at Road Atlanta. I've been Edward Hunter. Thank you very much to Pascal Eggert on the broadcast direction and Nick Homeward on race direction. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time we go racing in EERC British Touring Cars.